How you doing out there, Olivia? My name is Crem, and I'm your Director of Fitness, and I want to welcome you to today's Mastering Form routine. In the Mastering Form workout series, what we've been working through is going through the proper ways to do exercises, which is extremely important because not only does it help you develop and tone and sculpt and get stronger the way you want your body to, but most importantly, it helps you from a safety standpoint so you're less likely to injure yourself. So it's very important to learn how to master form, and that's what we're going to spend some more time on today. As usual, if this is your first time joining me for one of the routines, then please always check with your doctor first. If this is your first time participating in any type of exercise, always check with your physician, make sure everything is a-okay, and have some water handy. We're going to go through this nice and slowly. It's meant to really take you through the whys behind the whats. Make sure you feel comfortable with the movements that we're doing, but you still want to make sure you've got some water. You got to stay hydrated. I got mine, so please have yours handy. And we're going to dive on in. We've gone through many different types of movements together and exercises. We've gone through exercises that incorporate some dumbbells and kettlebells and stability balls. So I figured it would be a good idea also to introduce another one of the pieces of equipment that I really like to use that I think is extremely versatile with lots of different body movements. And most importantly, what I love about it is I can take it with me anywhere. Okay, and that is the loop, okay, the resistance band loop. These come in there's different brands. You'll typically find them in this rubber material. They also have more of a fabric material, which people like those because it helps with sort of the curling or the twirling that you will sometimes suffer with the rubber, and also with the slipping. But if you feel like you want to get the rubber ones, they work great. I've used them for years. I love them. They take up no space at all. You can really, it's kind of like a now you see it, now you don't kind of thing. You can pack it with you, take it with you to the gym, working out outside, when you're traveling, so it's great. So we're gonna use this today. For a couple of our exercises, I recommend using more of the light to medium band. The bands will typically come in different colors, which will have also sort of levels of intensity on them. So they'll be light, medium to heavy, and so on. So I would say let's go ahead and use a light to medium band if you have these already. Okay, so first exercise we're gonna do is called an isometric arm lift. And this move right here is gonna work your shoulders, it's gonna work your arms, it's gonna also work your core. Isometric basically just means where your muscles don't change length. We're just keeping our muscles in the same position. So that's what a little bit of what isometric breaks down. So with this, we're gonna have it around our palms, all right? Now, if having the band around your palms is difficult, you can put it around your wrist, okay? If that's more comfortable for you. But I'm gonna do mine around my palms here. And what I wanna do is, my stance is really important. I wanna have a really comfortable stance, feet about hip width apart. I want to make sure that my knees are slightly bent, my core is tight, sitting up nice and tall. And I want to make sure I've got tension here. So I want to pull about shoulder width apart, or a little more than shoulder width apart, but at least shoulder width apart. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this band, maintaining that same tension all the way up and all the way down. All the way up and all the way down. Arms are straight, very important to make sure we keep that all the way up, all the way down. To show you this angle, same thing, good form, relax, knees bent, core tight, and I'm gonna come all the way up. I'm coming about my ears. I don't wanna go to where it's not natural for my shoulder, especially if you got, tweaky shoulders, which I do. You wanna be mindful of that range of motion. So I'm gonna come all the way up. About to my ears, that's comfortable for me. And here, and you're gonna begin to feel this in those arms, right? That's exactly what we're going for. All the way up and down. Let's do a couple more. Turn back this way so you can see it. All the way up and down. One more of these. All the way up and down. Good. All right, so that was the isometric arm lift. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do some band pulls. So same sort of positioning with the hands. We're gonna go just above our heads this time. We're gonna do different positions. We're gonna go high, low, medium. But we're gonna start high first. Again, you're gonna feel this in the shoulders, in your arms. You're also gonna get this also in your core area, which is important. So I'm gonna start here, same position with my legs, slight bend, and I'm pulling it apart. Pulling it apart. And I'm going wider than shoulder width. Pulling it apart. Okay? Pulling it apart. Now you're gonna feel this in your shoulders. And now you're gonna probably know why I recommended a light to medium band. Right? So I'm pulling it apart. Pulling it apart. Very good. Good. And depending on what your goals are, determines what your repetitions are going to be. Okay? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go low. Same thing, but I'm just like this. Good. And I'm pulling it apart. So this is really going to target my shoulders and arms, but it's doing it from a little bit of a different angle. Different parts of those muscles. Pulling it apart. Pulling it apart. Pulling it apart. Good. Now we're going to do a couple more. Nice. Now we're going to go to the middle. Pull it apart. Yes. Pull it apart. Pull it apart. Now you're really feeling it. Your shoulders are cooking. Your arms are cooking. Your core is tight. But this is exactly what we want to do. A couple more of these. Nice. Okay. Shake those shoulders out. So again, you basically work arms, shoulders, you got your core involved there, you got some back muscles in there, all with just this little band, okay? Just with a little old band. So it's one of the things that I really love is there's a lot of versatility with the exercises that you can do with this. So the next one we're gonna need a chair or a bench or something you feel that's sturdy enough and comfortable and safe enough to be on. Now, we're going to do what's called a seated clamshell. This specific exercise, now you may want to go up a notch with your band. So if you were using a light before, this one you may want to use a medium. If you're using a medium, you may want to go up to a heavy. Your legs just have a little bit more strength, so it's not unusual for you to really handle those legs. So you can either keep it where you were, or you can take it up a notch. We're going to bring this right above our knees. So both bands, both legs go in the band, and we're going to bring it above the knees here, just like so. What I want to do is I want to make sure I'm sitting up nice and tall, okay? Nice and tall, and I'm sitting close to the edge of my bench or my chair. I don't want to slouch, I don't want to lean back, I want a good strong posture. Okay, so everything is tightened, everything is sucked in. My feet are together, okay? And what I want to do is I'm going to open my knees, all right? Now, opening my knees. This will work this area right here, okay? It's also going to work the hips. So I'm opening my knees. So this is that clamshell. This is a seated clamshell position. You can have your hands wherever is comfortable for you. It doesn't matter. So you can have them, behind you. You can hold onto the chair or the bench for support if you feel like you want some extra balance. And what I want to envision is I want this to sort of the movement of the band to come from my hips. Even though the knees are helping to support that, I don't want to focus on my knees. If you feel like you don't like where this band is positioned and for some reason you have some knee challenges, you're going to maybe want to adjust this a little bit higher away from the knee. Okay, but traditionally we're going to have it right here. I'm going to hold on to the bench and just like a clam. Right there, sitting up nice and tall. And that band is going to give you that resistance. Okay? Right there. Great, you're doing great. Again, nice tall posture. And perfect. Okay, so the next exercise we're going to do is we're going to do a band extension. Okay, we're going to stay on the legs. Now, if you find that your knees are a little bit challenging for you, be very careful with doing this specific exercise, and you may want to choose a lighter band, okay? But we're going to bring this down to the ankles. We're just changing the position of where it is. Sitting up tall, I got a nice angle here between the knee and the bench. I'm going to sit up tall here, and I'm going to bring that leg up and extend. What I want to do is I want to make sure my toe is going towards the ceiling. I don't want to point it outward that way. I want it up this way. I still want to try to focus on sitting up as tight as I can, and I'm lifting, lifting. And you should get that right here in the thigh. Lift it. Now, if it's too difficult to use focus just on one leg, you can alternate. So you can go here, 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 here. Now, if your knees are a bit aggravating, be careful not to hyperextend or fully extend that knee joint. So what I mean by that is if my knees are bothersome, which they are, I don't want to lock out that knee. I want to make sure there's a little bit of a slight bend here, okay? And then, so I'm lifting and extending, lifting and extending, lifting and extending, lifting and extending, just like that. Core is tight, back is straight, and I want to go a little bit higher, right where my knee height is of this leg, or a little bit higher, but not too much. There we go, and extend toe up. Okay, great. So that was that bandit leg extension. All right, next exercise we're going to do is we're going to focus on a squat. All right, now we've done a lot of different squats together. There are a ton of different variations to a squat. This is one to incorporate with bands and really kind of have that extra resistance with the band. Now we're going to slide the band back up here, just like that, above the knees. And I want to make sure, again, I'm sitting up tall. I want to sit on the edge of my chair or on the edge of my bench. I don't want my feet tucked under me. Okay, I'm going to make sure that my legs are about 90 degrees. If you are not accustomed to getting up out of the seated position this way, then you may want to make sure that you start with your feet a little further behind you until you get used to it. But ideally speaking, you want to be about 90 degrees, hip width apart. What we want to do is we don't want to utilize too much momentum from the upper body to get up from the seated position. We want to use the legs. That's what the bandit squat is all about. So, hands are here, 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 wherever you need for extra support. And I'm just going to get on up. Get on up. So, again, my legs are hip width apart. I'm pushing through the heels of the floor. And then I'm going to sit back down. Make sure you choose something that's behind you. You don't want anything that's going to roll or push away because you got to sit back down. And I'm going to back down in my seat. Okay? Make sure I'm up, and then I'm back in my seat. Make sure you're up, back down in my seat. And when I come down, what I want to avoid doing is rocking, okay? I want to try to keep my core, my back, chest, everything nice and strong. So I'm up, and down, up, down, up, and down. And I want to make sure that my knees don't buckle in. I've got to keep that tension pulled on the band because it really not only gets the front of the thigh, but the back of the thigh too, which is important. So, a couple more times so you can see this. And up, and down, using my thighs, using my rear area, watching my knees. Up and down. All right, you did it. Okay, so those are some exercises that you can do with your resistance band loops. I love this thing. I take it with me everywhere I go. Again, rubber ones work great if you are really annoyed by the slipping or the twisting. They do have fabric ones that you can get as well, which helps to eliminate that. So either way, great tool to have. I hope you enjoyed the different exercises that we did today for the mastering form series. If you have any questions about these specific moves or any moves that you're like, hey Crem, I have a question. I've noticed, a specific exercise. I don't feel like I quite get it. Can you show it to me? I'd be happy to help. You can email me directly at fitness@livia.com. I hope you had a great time with this. I look forward to seeing you again next time. And remember to always work on mastering that form.